We're going to watch not a spring chicken, Sean Connery, beat up an arm wrestling champion. Hi guys, my name is Joe and welcome to Fighting Words, the martial arts library. On this channel I review martial arts books and I talk about other martial arts related subjects. And this is a segment I refer to as Media Fight Monday, where I take a fight scene from television, animation, movies, etc., and I break down the action and then give it a grade based on realism and storytelling value. Today we're going to watch a fight from a movie called The Presidio from 1988. We're going to watch not a spring chicken, Sean Connery, beat up an arm wrestling champion. So as background on the scene, the guy in the flannel is Rick Zumwalt. He, as I mentioned, is a multi-time arm wrestling champion featured in movies like Over the Top. And as a setup, he's been trying to intimidate Sean Connery, getting his rank wrong, putting out his cigar in Mr. Connery's cup of coffee. Connery decides that we're going to have a little fight. I'm going to beat you up using only my right thumb because my left thumb is far too powerful for you. As far as martial arts background goes, apparently Mr. Zumwalt, I couldn't find anything there, but he's an arm wrestling champion. If he wants to rip your arm off, he can. Mr. Connery was a black belt in Kyokushin karate. I know he also had some Aikido background. He has gone on late night talk shows and talked about the time that Steven Seagal broke his wrist. The choreographer for this fight was Han Bong-soo, often Americanized as Bong-soo Han. His primary background was in Hapkido. At the time of his death, he was a 9th degree black belt. Apparently, he had also practiced things like Taekyon back in his younger days. But Hapkido was his specialty. So the bully charges in and takes a thumb to the gut, takes a swing, takes a thumb to the kidneys. Charges again, takes another thumb to the kidneys. Just wipes out a bunch of patrons. Takes another swing, and that was Connery using his momentum against him and throwing him into the table. Ooh, poor guy. It's another thumb to the solar plexus, thumb to the kidneys, and face plants him in oysters, maybe? Another thumb to the solar plexus. A trip that sent him headfirst into the bar, and he's probably lucky he didn't break his neck or crack his skull. Now he's got his thumb in his solar plexus again. Now he's digging. There's a pressure point just underneath the jawline. So like the bone is here, and it's sort of right here. He's pressing in, and he's basically making him apologize. That was one final shot. Looked like could have been his left thumb, but definitely a left-handed strike to the throat. That was a brief fight, but let's talk about realism. It is possible to cause some damage to the soft tissue with this striking surface. And, if it's backed up with the rest of the fingers, you don't stand a big chance of actually damaging or dislocating your thumb. I think in the Bujinkan they called it Boshiken, or thumb drive fist. I don't know what they call it in Korean martial arts. If you were to use something like that, you're striking at generally a small surface, trying to penetrate into it. Optimally, you're looking to do damage to a lot of nerves. So the sections he was targeting, like the solar plexus and the kidneys, and again, just that little pressure point underneath there, those would all be realistic targets for that. And of course, moving out of the way and tripping the guy or tossing him into other objects That works. Although most human beings, if they are sober and apparent, there was no indication that he was drunk, will be pretty good at putting on the brakes most of the time. Frankly, I'm not a big fan of the idea of like attacking nerves like that. If you want to end a fight, the best way to do it is to shut down the brain. This was done more for story purposes, and I am going to get to that in a second. As far as realism goes, yeah, you can make somebody go ow by jamming your thumb in those more sensitive areas. I don't think that they're going to be a fight stopper. And to be fair, he was also tossing him head first into stuff. Given the size, strength, and age disparity between them, I I don't think that that would be enough, realistically speaking, to stop that type of attack. So I think we're actually bordering on fantasy here. None of the techniques were things that could not happen, but I think their overall effects were greatly exaggerated, and in the overall scheme of things, we wouldn't see someone taken out that way by those techniques. This is going to sound harsh. I'm going to say D+. As far as storytelling value goes, I think this did a really good job of presenting our hero as, someone who could use his skill and strategic abilities. I'm going to target these particular sites using only the force necessary with my right thumb. Overwhelming an opponent who's losing his cool. I think that that's the story it told. Someone who was thinking and very tactical with their actions versus someone who was emotional and tried to overwhelm with force. Truthfully, I haven't seen the entirety of the movie. I only have sort of a vague idea of what it's about, so I don't know how much that plays into the rest of the story, but I do think it actually does a good job of sort of presenting Mr. Connery's character, Sir Connery? Sir Connery, as someone who can handle himself physically. It's strongly augmented by, using his mind. Again, being strategic, being tactical about how he's using things, outthinking his opponent, outmaneuvering his opponent, not trying to meet force with force, using superior training to overcome a physical disadvantage. I think I'm going to give that a solid B. I don't think it was overwhelming when it came to storytelling. It was sort of cut and dry, good guy beats up bully. We've seen this before. But I do think that because of how much it lends to the character development that we get in just, I guess, about 2 minutes of action right there, we really get a better idea of who this character is. That's why I'm giving it the grade it is, because even though it is a little bit copy-paste as far as the storytelling goes, it does build on the character moments. So that's all I have for this week. If you have a suggestion for a fight that I should review, or you would like to support the channel, please consider donating to my Ko-fi account. There will be a link of that in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.